All right, I know it hasn't been a while. It's been a while since the Jays won the World Series, boys, but Dodgers did it. So let's get this baseball news out of the way. What do you think? You just said, Max P, the West Coast keeps winning. What do you think? The Dodgers take the World Series in 5, busting up those Yankees.
It's great, man. It was dope that the Yankees and the Dodgers played. I would suggest watching The Tale of Two Cities on the 30 for 30 on ESPN. And then there's another one that people say is really dope too. But the one, The Tale of Two Cities, is on Jesse Jackson back in the late 70s when the Bronx was on fire. And then they show the contrast of what was going on in Cali and how they were living over there. It's a really, really good documentary.
Smiling and laying in the sun.
And meanwhile, Reggie Jackson's having fights with his coach.
Yeah, man.
Like full-blown brawls.
Yeah. And Ice Cube doing the intro. We were just talking about Ice Cube opening up at Dodger Stadium in LA. That was huge, man. That was cool. As old school guys like myself, it was cool to see him go out there and do his thing. What'd you think, A.Rod, of the Dodgers taking the World Series?
Man, I hate baseball. I don't watch this shit.
On that note, let's go. I hate that shit. I don't watch baseball. Welcome back, everybody, to the Sports Ethos Toronto Raptor podcast, and we got A.Rod back. It just doesn't feel right when he's not in it, so here he is, back in the mix. A.R.O.D., Mr. Max P, in the building, you better pay, man. Mr. Me, El Hoopo, H-O-O-P-O, and we're back with your Raptors news that you just can't get enough of. So let's in 1, 2, 3, let's go. What's up, boys?
What is up, man?
Yes, sir.
Be in a minute.
Happy Halloween, fellas. Happy Halloween.
Yeah, I saw a mother out there while I was taking my kids around for Halloween, and I looked at her. She didn't have an ass, and it was just straight up and straight down. I thought, are you going out for Halloween as Ice Cube? A white cave bitch. Iron and board backside, straight up and straight down.
I was going to say, this Raptors record is spooky out here, man. It's killing me, man.
All right. I know we all got a lot to say here because it has been a minute since we last spoke. So the last game was last night, and the Raptors lost a close one, 133 to the Hornets in Charlotte, 138. I got a lot to say, but I'm going to throw it out to you boys. So, A-Rod, why don't you start it off? We haven't heard from you in a while. What are you feeling? What'd you see? What's your vibe?
My vibe is I'm pretty happy with Grady Dick. Pause. I mean, he is playing really well. It's nice to see that improvement. 17 points first half. Finished with 30 on the night.
30 piece.
He's been really consistent lately. No single-digit games. It looks like he's more in tune with the offense. Feels more comfortable. Making a few more drives. The defense isn't that bad either. He's still got a ways to go, but it's just nice to see that improvement with him. So that's cool.
Yeah,
I know you guys are going to shit on me for this, but I'll say it right now, and I'm going to get it out of the way. I do not like Mobo. You guys seem to be high on this guy. For me, I'm just like, listen, I want to give him a chance, but it's a reclamation project, man. Because you know what all this reminds me of? It reminds me of Precious Achua 2.0.
I think he's got more than Precious, but okay, keep going.
He's already better than Precious to me, but yeah, okay.
Hear me out on this, okay?
Yeah, lay your case out. The DA over here.
He went to school at Missouri State, MVC school, right? That conference already isn't that good. They only got Belmont and Drake in there. Those are the two teams that are really good. Both games he played against those guys, all single digits, no blocks, no steals. He was, however, in the conference running for top defender. So he was in the top 10 there. Then he transferred over to San Fran, which is where the Raptors ended up drafting him from. That's another school where they play in the West Coast Conference. There's only two good teams in that conference too, Gonzaga and St. Mary's. Both those games he played against those guys didn't do shit either. So all I'm saying is, look, he's a long reclamation project, very similar stats to Precious, but when Precious was in college, Precious played for Memphis for Penny, and he was nice. And when he came to the NBA, he was still, he had a motor. He didn't get much of a shot with the Raps at first, only later on. But in New York, they're starting to love this guy. Tibbs loves him.
Yeah.
And I just don't feel like watching another reclamation project.
I just feel like Mobo has hands. Precious has bricks for hands. I just feel like, and his basketball IQ, I feel he has a better feel for the game. Max, what do you think?
The whole Raptors team is one big reclamation project. Everybody is in Mobo's category. Even our best player ain't proved shit yet. We got nobody with any kind of talks on our team at
Right.
all. We
Right.
are at the bottom as far as what people can expect from us. As fans, we got some some positive things we see. But as a casual basketball fan, we do not deserve to be respected, not one bit.
Not yet.
Not yet at all.
Yeah, you kind of have to have a knee deep in the game to understand, like, to be happy with what certain things to see. What you're
Yeah,
seeing.
as a
Yeah,
casual fan, and someone said
Yeah,
the
it's
Raptors
rough.
are going to be at the bottom, you couldn't argue with them.
Yeah.
Charlotte game. Charlotte used to be one of them bottom feeder teams. We're going back and forth with them like it was a Eastern Conference old school Philly Vince Carter type of battle. But nah, it's just two teams looking for something.
Go ahead, A-Rod. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say one quick note.
man.
Max, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I have to just put it out there. I'm a quarter of the way through with Darko, because that's 5 games now. So
Wow. Okay.
I was
we
man,
got
only,
progress.
he only has 15 games left on my watch, man.
The elephant in the room.
Yes,
thanks for
hilarious.
addressing the elephant in the room.
I actually have a ticker here of the number of games. I was going to bring it up. But, yeah, you have 15 games left. That's amazing.
Darko.
That's funny. I'm going to keep it there with Darko. I had a text message from a guy in the neighborhood. He's like, he said to me, he goes, a friend of mine asked me, what is what would it mean to say that it was a successful year for Darko as a coach?
Oh, yeah,
And,
someone randomly asked you that?
Some asked my guy in the neighborhood here, and then he texted me this, and he asked me this, yeah. So I say, you know what? For me, a success for him, I don't think is for Darko. It's not to necessarily get a bunch of wins, but for me, it's to make this team fun to watch. So for those guys that you're talking about, Max, that like half fan, that they can tune in and be like, man, these guys are fun to watch. But they're not winning a lot. But man, I really want to watch them. I want to buy some tickets. They're a lot of fun. And I think if he can do that, and I think he's kind of in his cauldron of whatever Darko tricks he's got up his sleeve, if he has any, that's why he's allowing them to get all these turnovers. Because I think they're at the bottom of the league in turnovers per game. I think it's
They
by
don't
a far
seem to
mark.
be connected. They're not
Not
very well
yet.
connected.
But I think he's letting them just kind of run and go and try to find that fun and that joy. So to me, that is where Darko will have success. If they, to me, are fun to watch and they have close games like that, because they showed a lot of heart last night. I wasn't even mad at the game.
I like how they played. For some reason, Scotty's been playing all right this year, but for some reason, I like how the team looks when he's not on the court.
And that's not a good sign.
It's not like LeBron. It's not like LeBron and the Lakers, but it is a little
get into
better
them
when
after,
he's not
yeah.
on the court.
Yeah. What do you guys think of our guy Shed? What do you guys think, Davion and Shed, man?
I'm not surprised with him though, because in college, man, that's how he played. He was the leader of that Houston team, unquestionably.
So much heart.
If that guy didn't go down, they would have beat Duke. Everybody knows this, man.
You're talking about Jamal.
Shed.
Yeah.
If he doesn't go down, they beat Duke, man.
7 points, 9 assists last night. And Davion, 11 and 11. 11 points, 11 assists. These guys are out there just having fun and playing hard.
Davion's an interesting character, man. I'd like to see what happens with him because he had a lot of high hopes when he came into the league.
Yeah.
And then he kind of just got shuffled in the back behind, I think it was Halliburton and Fox, right?
Uh-huh.
And it was just tough for him to get out of that role. He never really got to...
There was a bit of hype behind him. I remember that.
Yeah,
there was a bit.
Especially in the summer league, he was going nuts. Like his defense was crazy, his shot making was good, everything. But he just kind of fell by the wayside. So I'm interested to see what happens with him because some guys, like it seems like they come out of nowhere, but they've just been good and they just needed a chance.
And I think this is that door. I think that door is open for him.
Maybe that's what it is, right? But I want to see the Raps with Quik back, man, because we have too many moving parts right now. I love that RJ is carrying over that Team Canada confidence into the season. Like he was banging last night, man. He was.
Yeah, he was.
He was real
old
good,
school.
man. Even in the Denver game, he was good. Just the foul trouble kept him out.
Yeah.
But he was playing really well, man. Shoots the three like he thinks he can make it all
Confidence.
the time.
Well, you could always count on RJ to be aggressive.
Yeah.
He's got that strength. And it's crazy. We mentioned it last episode. You weren't on here, but it's like you look down the bench. You got Bruce Brown, Kelly, Scotty, Quik, Jacoby.
Yeah.
None of these guys playing, and
Crazy.
and you watch these young guys playing. They got so much heart, and it to me that is a huge positive. Win or lose, these guys are laying it out there.
That's one thing I did expect to see this year, though. I did expect to see a bunch of guys playing for their careers. Don't know if any of them were going to be any good, but I did expect to see like a lot of effort on this team
Yeah,
for sure. There's so many dudes. It's like, who are you, bro?
and then you got and you got Pirtle 20-16 last night.
Pirtle,
Yeah.
our big man.
That's our big man. Well, speaking of big man, Scotty, you touched on it for a second. Orbital fracture. Everyone's gone over it. Everyone's talked about it. 3 weeks or more. At least he didn't lose an eye. Yeah. So this is going to open up some time for some guys. O'Shea, who seems to be turning into some sort of player because he was not some sort of player in Utah. And I don't know. What do you guys take on O'Shea's chances of becoming a player, a legit rotational player with the Raptors? You think he's got a good chance, or what do you think? You think this is
I think
fool's
he's
gold?
got a good chance because he actually played with Grady before. Actually, I could be wrong on that. They might have just split years, but they went to the same school, so they come from the same good system there. But also, I think that he was good in college.
Right.
He was a what you would call like more of like a top tier player. Maybe not elite, but top tier.
Yeah.
So he does have a good chance, man. And he comes from a good school and a good program. So I feel like maybe just, maybe this is a good change of scenery for him. Have like an organization that believes in him and not going to put him like with a minutes restriction or maybe only seeing the court during garbage time.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can take this shot and go with it. Also this Scotty injury, it opens up the door for more losses. Unfortunately, because we do need him, even though he's playing like trash to me right now. But at the end of the year, if we are, somewhere along the lines of like 20 and 40 something or whatever, they're gonna just shut it down, and it'll be his show to get more minutes, right?
He was starting to cook that Denver game, though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It was starting to come.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see where it all goes from here. It's a little bit too early to say.
Yeah.
But I do like him.
Yeah, he's athletic, and he has seemed to take a bit of a leap from when he came last year to he looks just a little bit more confident. Like whatever he did in the summer or something, kind of just he understands his role, he understands what he can bring on the court every night. So yeah, maybe he's not trying to do too much. I think that's the key. Speaking of doing too much, well, not doing too much, but I got some good vibes here. That's why the name of this episode of SkyDome Hussle, because Open Gym, I want to give a shout out to Open Gym. They put out a little 23-minute little mini doc on YouTube today it was nostalgia, man. It was just about when the Raptors started, and it was funny because it really made me feel old for a second because there was a clip of RJ and who was he? I think it was with O'Shea in the SkyDome. Right, and they're walking through, and the big screen, the jumbotron, has got the old video of the game being played, and they're like, "Wow, this is crazy." They're looking at the old tickets, and then RJ looks at the camera and goes, "No joke, I didn't even know it was called SkyDome." I was like, "Wow!" And you're from Toronto, and you didn't.
Well, that's a very different Toronto.
He wasn't even born yet, he says. So, I mean, yeah, I guess, right? I mean,
It's a very, very different Toronto because, like, who gives a fuck about baseball? When Joe Carter hit that home run, that shit was huge.
Listen, I'll say this.
And nobody cares now. Nobody cares.
I hate
that was so
baseball
huge.
right now. I hate baseball right now.
Yeah.
I will never watch that shit, even if it's the only sport on.
Yeah.
I'd rather go watch Dora the Explorer or some shit like that.
Teletubbies?
But I'll say this. The Joe Carter moment for me is the biggest moment in Toronto sports history. I know that's an argument for another day or a debate or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I will never forget where I was. Like, I still have the tapes for it. Yeah. Like, as a kid, that was the coolest shit you've ever seen in your life.
Ever.
Like, I still remember it like it was yesterday, man.
Yeah. I was in Sault Ste. Marie, man.
The Joe Carter home run, I remember Ben Johnson winning the 100-meter. What else do I remember?
Bailey.
Godlike when he won that one.
I never really had that Donovan warm fuzzy feeling with the Donovan Bailey stuff.
Really? I was there at the time when he beat Michael
Johnson. When he limped up on his hamstring.
Meter,
Yeah. I wasn't a fan of both of those guys. It was like two annoying dudes beefing with each other.
Yeah, no, it was kind of corny. Yeah, I didn't like that. Well, speaking of which, man, legs being sore and hamstrings, man, I ran my race, man, and I just want to say I appreciate it, man. My lady was like, I'm not on Instagram, and then my lady looks over and goes, look at this, me putting up that little clip, man, about me finishing the race, the marathon.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, man. That's very cool of you to do that. I wasn't gonna put it out there like that, but like I said, I finished my race in 7th place in my age group, baby. And got it the 3% out of all the runners. That's my dad found that data, man. I got 60th out of 2,000 runners. Anyways, I wanted to ask you something. I'm still sore because I'm 44, man, and I want to know, is there somewhere in the city, man, I could still maybe go get legal stuff? I need legal stuff, legal supplements. Yeah, is there anywhere I can go?
I was gonna say Sherborne and Dundas till you said legal.
Sherborne and Dundas. Yeah, I'll never come back, man. I won't come back. Yeah, where Pogo? I don't know, man.
See you on that Shooter Street vibe, man.
It's just marks all over my face, just itching. Got that itch. Man, you gonna run again? Probably not. But where can I find some legal supplements? You guys know of anywhere in the city I could find one?
Max.
He
I know a place. It's called what was it again? Popeye Supplements. That was it.
Popeye Supplements.
That means this is another episode of This or
That.
Brought to you by Popeye's Supplements. All right, A.Rod, you weren't here last week, so I want to pose the question to you because I posed the question to Max P. I want to say, what's a bigger moment for you? The Vince Carter dunk-off or the Kawhi Game 7, man? Were you here for this, actually?
No,
you weren't here for this. No. All right, so hit me. Vince Carter dunk-off or Kawhi Game 7, and tell me why.
Vince Carter dunk-off, man.
Okay, why?
And I'll say this, because as a younger guy when this was going on, right? This was 2000, right? Mm-hmm. I remember, being on the phone with my buddy, and we were watching the dunk-off, right? There was no texting back in the day. We just were, like, on the phone, and we were just yelling at everything like idiots,
Yeah.
Just having a good time. And I remember the first dunk this guy did, he came down and went reverse 360, like the opposite way, the back
That's my dunk too. Yep.
Reverse 360 windmill. That was some shit I've never seen in my life. And he
like
cleared it
video.
the first time, did not miss it. I exploded. I yanked the phone cord right out of the socket. I had to plug it back in, and I'm like, yo, you there still? And all I could hear was and the phone was never right after that.
Oh, man. You
and we kept talking, and it was like we heard each other, but there was a lot of crackling after.
Yeah, didn't matter.
Then he went underneath the net, did the same dunk underneath the net.
That dunk was crazy.
That. And then I forgot which asshole it was, gave him a 9 on that. He didn't give him a perfect score. It's the same
I can remember. Yeah.
Then afterwards, he went and did the Tracy McGrady team dunk, the through the legs, and just said it's over. I said it's
this
over.
one right here. Yeah, this one right here.
Even T-Mac, look at T-Mac's face on that, man. He's like,
over.
Oh, shit, man, I need to get traded. Like, that's his face, man.
I need to go to Orlando.
Guy.
Yeah, it was done, man. It was done. Like, that was the craziest shit I ever seen in my life, man.
Yeah.
The Kawhi shot, it was more like, it was like relief. Because, like, as a Raptors fan, you're thinking, oh, here we go, overtime again. These guys are going to lose, blah, blah, blah. And then Kawhi got the ball, and Embiid's chasing at him. I still remember, I think it was Ben Simmons was chasing him first, and then after Embiid came out to contest. So Kawhi shoots it, and you're like, oh, that doesn't look right. And it hits the net, and you're like, okay, it's bouncing back. But then it goes, and does its little cling-clang and, sits on the rim for a bit. And you're like, oh, shit, that's insane, right? But when you think about the context of that shot, it was just big to win that series.
Yeah.
But it was still the second round.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't the final. If it was, like, the final, then that shit would have been, it probably would have leapfrogged Vince. But, like, just the Vince.
Like Poe said, after the fact, the Kawhi shot was huge. But at the moment, it was just second round win.
No.
Exactly.
I mean, you think about it. If Raps lose to Milwaukee after being down 2-0, or if they lose to Golden State, you're just remembering that shot, but you're not really, like, revering it the same way you are. The Vince Carter shit, it's like you have that Vince Carter dunk off in your memory bank for the rest of your life because it's the greatest dunk off of all time, arguably next to the Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine one.
That was the second best ever I've ever seen.
Yeah, but
that
again, like
crazy.
that one was in Toronto too, so it's like you got that direct comparison there. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. For me, it was like in that moment for the next 15 years that Vince Carter dunk lives on.
Vince was the god.
When you think about it now, it's
after
like
that.
That's still one of the best in-game or in-contest dunks you'll ever see in your life.
Yeah. Good point. That was if the Kawhi shot was for the finals, a little different.
Yeah.
This was second round, but still, what a moment. Now let me pose this then. Game 7, since it's a game winner, we were just speaking on it. So Kawhi game 7 winner against Philly, or Joe Carter for a Toronto moment. I'm not
even fucking close.
All right,
not even fucking
I just want to know why.
Joe Carter all day, every day.
Yeah.
Joe Carter was game 6, but like Joe Carter was bottom of the 9, 2-2 on, like 2 outs. Like, come on, man. And like the way he hit that thing, it was like he hit that so perfectly. You knew it was gone as soon as it left his bat. And then I remember it just going over that left field wall, like right at the edge there. And I remember Joe just jumping up and down.
Oh,
like,
man.
I remember being a kid and I was fucking running around in my friend's house screaming, like jumping
wild.
up and down. Like, come on, man. Joe Carter, like.
Joe Carter's never paid for a meal in Toronto.
No, and he shouldn't.
And he never should.
He never should.
Never should.
If I was broke and I just got a syrup check from the government,
it's
and I seen Joe Carter on the street, and he's like, "Yo, and he's like, can I, get something from Timothy's or like Second Cup?" I'm giving him my syrup check. I'm like, Joe, just go
Joe,
cash
take
that
it, man.
shit,
Joe.
man.
No,
That's
Joe.
it.
Joe, this is on the city. This is on us, man.
Yeah, I mean, if we find out you didn't help Joe in that situation, you're in trouble. You're in trouble around these parts. Yeah, a restaurant, we find out you charged Joe Carter. You're in trouble. You're in trouble, bro. So yeah, he's connected out here.
Mount
Day
Rushmore.
one, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. But for me, I think it was I mean, it was definitely the Joe Carter moment. But I think the Vince Carter moment was bigger for Toronto. But the Joe Carter moment was bigger for people who lived in Toronto. If you know what I mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Like the Joe Carter that's ours. That's ours. Yeah. Whereas the Vince Carter is a worldwide phenomenon. You know what I'm saying? Like the Vince Carter moment is like an underground rapper that's really dope, and the Vince and like the dunk competition is like, big deal.
Like I can still remember Tony Fernandez, Kelly Gruber.
Yeah, that's us. Like you're from Toronto, that's us. Borders. That's Toronto,
That's Toronto,
but these cats don't hold no weight outside of Toronto, right? Like
Paul Molitor,
Paul Molitor,
Kenny Maldonado.
Come on, man.
Come on,
Devon White,
Lloyd Mosby.
Dave
No, he wasn't on that
Steve.
squad, but Dave Steve, Tony Hankey, the Terminator.
Tony Hankey, man. Remember when Jack Morris came on the bike to the parade? Come on, man.
Dave Steve with his sweaty ass hat.
Yeah.
Man, legendary. They're part of Mount Rushmore of sports legends, man. You put Wendell Clark in there. You put Vince. Anyways, that's for another day.
For sure. Wendell Clark is top notch in Toronto. Score 50 goals and punch you out, man. Forget about it.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of guys who need to be punched out, I mean, come on. It's Tony Hinchcliffe. Like, go fuck yourself, Raton. Hey, Raton. This guy talking about...
Man, I seen this guy last week, and I'm like... I don't get the joke. Like, I'm not
Stupid.
like, listen, I'm not a political guy, but like,
it's like me and Paul were saying, he's not a comedian. That's why you don't get the joke.
What was the context? What was the context though? Like, why did he say Puerto Rico was an island of garbage? Like, what was the joke?
Because he's just trying to be funny and racist because that's just the way that he thinks that it was gonna go down nice at a Trump Vance rally. You know what I mean? Like he thought that shit was gonna get
applause. I was so confused,
applause.
man. I seen it like on a clip because I don't really watch this stuff, and like, I was just trying to figure out like. Was Puerto Rico
so apparently there's
garbage dumping or something, or like I didn't understand it,
So apparently there's this big pile of trash floating around in the southern water somewhere,
which is true. There is. There's an actual
and so people were making a big deal about that, and this guy who's not a comedian goes up there and makes a super bad joke.
Stupid joke, man. Yeah, just dumb. Anyways, let's get over that. I just wanted to give him a slap to El Raton. That's his new name, Raton. Okay, so we're gonna do a little hold this. Okay, so like I said, I watched that open gym, which honestly, a little tear came out. I'm like, I remember those days, man. Like I remember those days. But they were interviewing Damon Stoudemire now, right? And Damon's a G, man. Like the way he was talking, he was talking about like John Sally and all these guys back in the day. He goes, it was such an eclectic team. Like basically, we were just just killing each other every day, jokes, like just making fun of each other. He goes, it was a fun ass team, right? But then I thought, just the way he was talking, I'm like, Damon, like, man, I would trust him to hold something. But so I wanted to pose this question to you guys: that if you needed to go away for a weekend, if you got to go away, and you need somebody to hold this. I want to take two rookies here, or two old school Raptors, and who you trust more, Damon Stoudemire, Mighty Mouse, who I saw a clip of him busting up the Atlanta Hawks on this one play back. So anyways, to hold this, Damon Stoudemire or Marcus Camby? Who do you got? Who do you got?
It's easy. It's easy.
Mighty Mouse.
This is an easy one.
Yes, it
Come
is.
on, man. It's better than this.
Bro.
I was gonna do Vince, but then I already did Vince, and then I'm
Marcus
like,
Camby can't even hold his knees, man.
Bro, it's still
Come on, man.
it's still a fuck you. It's still a fuck you to Marcus Camby for them double fingers you gave us when you came back to Toronto.
yes, sir.
It's still a fuck you, Marcus Camby. And I was a fan of you when you were at UMass and shit, man.
Me too. Yeah.
You know what the greatest? You know what the greatest in-game dunk for me is? And this is just like my personal favorite. It doesn't have to be the greatest for everybody else, but for my personal favorite is when we're at Maple Leaf Gardens playing the Raptors, and AI first year did the tip slam on Camby and rode his back, just pop.
Oh, I remember that.
Which say that one again? Who was it?
It was AI on Marcus Camby.
Oh, I do remember
that.
That
was disgusting.
Yeah.
I was at that game too, man.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Dad took me, man.
So you got to see your favorite player. That was one thing I never got to see was Jordan, man.
I seen AI four times in my life.
Man. All right, so I know that was easy.
I got a chance to see Sean Kemp when he was my favorite player. Next to Jordan, of course.
Awesome.
Yeah. When the Dream Team 2 came to Canada.
You saw them play?
They were doing some kind of pre-Olympic thing, and he did the Michael Jackson dunk and everything. It was amazing.
Sean Kemp
was amazing.
A fucking monster, man. I had a poster of him in my room. Like, he was a monster. When he did that dunk and then he did that.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy.
Sean Kemp.
Highlights like that made NBA. What was it? NBA TV. NBA
NBA
Jam, NBA Action. That was it. NBA Action. Like, he deserves a royalty check for NBA Action. No word of a lie.
I had those VHS tapes, man. NBA Action. All right, so okay, cool. So we got a little bit of El Mayo news, boys. So I was
okay. We need the
I had it on Snapchat, man. I did my part.
So I was saying to Max the last episode, A.Rod, I'll make this quick, but I was in Fort Erie for the Niagara race, right? My lady's parents live there. I look over, because of course you go to Walmart when you're there, right? So I look over and there's the Fort Erie Times, and in the what's on the front cover, but our guy James Redding is on the cover, right?
Jimmy Funeral.
Jimmy White Wedding is over here. He's on the front cover, and so it's like this is everywhere now, right? So it's like everywhere. So this is starting to become more of a thing. So I checked in and I wanted to see where the news was at, and there is more news, boys. There is more news. So the Mexican government is now pressing the American government because of the kidnapping. So it is now out that it is official that Chapo is the one who made it happen to get El Mayo kidnapped and sent to America. So Chapo, his guy, the co-leader of the Sinaloa cartel, had his son right here. This is Chapo's son. I forget his name. Doesn't matter, but it does matter. No disrespect, but I don't have it on me right now. But he's the one, through his son, that got El Mayo for sure kidnapped and brought to the States. So the Mexican government is now pushing the American government. The American government is like, this is history in the making. This is a beautiful thing that's happening. But the Mexican government's like, no, you need to give us more. You need to be more transparent. And so they're now pushing the American government to give them more information of what's going on. And American government obviously is not giving them what they want. But so now it's official, like a referee's whistle, man. Chapo put out the kidnapping hit to get this guy. They gave him to the States. Isn't that crazy?
Damn.
Yeah.
Every time one of these cartel guys get locked up, it's always another cartel guy that put him in. These police don't do nothing but wait for some rat to come through and give them some info.
There it is, man. All right, before we get out of here, I just wanted to say they were on the SkyDome thing, and this and I just got nostalgic.
Look at that.
There's some old pics of SkyDome, right? So I just want to know.
It's all highway around there now and shit.
That's what I'm saying. So do you guys have any memories of some good memories of when it was the SkyDome, when that shit first hit Toronto, and you have any memories, or maybe you went? I don't know if you guys ever went to a game there. A.Rod hit me
several times, man.
Yeah.
And one of the earliest memories I actually have of the SkyDome, like not baseball included, just basketball only, was my dad actually brought me there to watch the Harlem Globetrotters.
Okay.
And that was super cool, man. That really
very cool.
That was like when I got my first basketball at a flea market, and it was $2, and I love that thing. You know, like I used to want to go to sleep with it. And then I remember my dad took me to the Harlem Globetrotters there, and I thought that was just fucking unreal, man. Just super cool to watch. Like, I still remember lining up by Gate 5. Like, it was, man.
Yeah, man.
Good times.
Very cool.
Yeah. What about you, Max?
Yeah, so back in the street ball era, back when White Man Can't Jump was in theaters, and I had real hoop dreams. I was playing ball at school. I was playing ball before school, after school, during school.
Yeah.
Brampton was just one big basketball camp back then.
Yeah.
And I had filled out the little form. They had a street ball 3-on-3 street ball tournament at SkyDome.
Yeah.
And I filled out my little form and recruited my little team in the neighborhood. And I got my cousin from Malton, and then boom, we went over there and we lost the first year. Then we went again, and I recruited another team. That was like going into 8th grade, so I was just finished 7th grade. So finishing 6th grade and then finishing 7th grade when I was doing this, and then we took the bus and then took the subway down to the dome, and they had all the 3-on-3 nets set up all on the floor.
Yeah.
And we beat Jamal McGlore's team on the way to win our championship on that second year.
Man.
And we got a
wow, okay.
Yeah, I remember.
Jamal McGlore. Yeah, Jamal McGlore picked 3 shorts, like, cause they did it on total height. That's how they put you in categories.
Yeah.
And so he cheated by having had 3 short guys on his team. It was 3-on-3 with 1 reserve. So he had 3 really short guys on his team. So he thought he'd be able to blow everyone out. But those 3 short guys that he picked all were trash. And so we were able, even though he was dominant, we were able to beat his team.
Shout out Jamal, man.
Jamal McGlore's a G. Jamal McGlore's a G for sure.
Toronto legend. Speaking of hoop dreams, you just said hoop dreams. I was showing A.Rod this, but look what I just found today. The original DVD of Hoop Dreams. Look at that, man. Arthur Agee.
Wow.
Man, legend, man. Right there.
Yeah. We won a whole box of Skybox basketball cards as a reward for winning the championship.
That's cool.
Man,
so we were just busting them things open on the subway on the way home. It's like bank robbers that were counting their cash.
Man, speaking of that, you jog a quick memory. When we used to live on Driftwood, my dad used to send me, this is in the 80s, it was like 80, like I was in grade 2, grade 1, whatever, 84, 85. My dad used to send me to the Max Milk to get him cigarettes, right, with a note. And he used to just watch me out of the apartment on the balcony, like, that's a safe dad, that's good. Anyways, they would send me to the store, all the guys in there would pat me on top of the head, like, hey, go ahead. They'd make sure I get there and I get back, right? But he gave me, I still remember, he gave me $10 to get, and cigarettes were cheap, I don't remember, but He's like, bring me back the change. You can get 1 pack of hockey stickers. Remember those stickers you put in the sticker book? So I was like, okay, I'll get 1 pack, right? So
those were the shit back in the day.
Shit. I was like, yes, I get to get my stickers. I get 1 pack of stickers and cigarettes. So I'm like, grade 2. I give him the note, right? Guy gives me my player's, Export A gold pack. I still remember. And then I said, 1 pack of stickers. And then the guy gave me the money back. And I was like, I had all this money in my hand. I looked up at him. So how many more stickers can I get for all this money? So the guy was like, you can probably get like, I was like, just, can I have all of them? So I took all the rest of my dad's money, got all these stickers. But then halfway on my walk back, I'm like, I'm going to be in shit. Like, I'm going to get in real trouble.
You figured it out?
I figured it out halfway through my walk. I'm like, I shouldn't have did that, right? So I started opening them, like you just said, but I started handing them out to the kids in the neighborhood. I was like, here, you want some stickers? Like, that was going to make sure I wasn't going to get in trouble. Like, well, where's the stickers? You know what I mean? So like, I don't know what my thinking was. So I got home, my dad's like, where's the change? And I was like, I don't know. He's like, what do you mean you don't know? I don't know. Did you get your stickers? Yeah, they're right here. I don't know what you're... it was too funny.
Oh, man, that's funny,
Damn
bro.
well knew, yeah. But, anyways, that was a funny story. My dad was crazy. All right, so that's it for this or...
That.
Brought to you by Popeyes Supplements. All right, let's go around the NBA real quick. I got one little note I want to say. These OKC Thunder are 4-0, and they look like they're having a bunch of fun, man. What do you guys think? What are OKC's chances? Do you think they got a little taste of the playoffs last year, and they just want to take this a little further this year? What do you think?
Yeah, I picked them to get to the Western Conference Finals.
I think so, too. With Caruso in the mix now, I mean, with Hartenstein, he's hurt right now, but Hartenstein in the mix, I mean, that could be dangerous. What do you think, A.Rod? You get that, look like you're not too confident.
I don't know, man. I'm going to have to go with, I think the youth will still catch up to them.
They're not ready yet?
I don't think they're physically ready. Like, they still don't have those type of dominant games. Like, without Shea... Chet is like a very up and down type of player, same as Jalen Williams. Like they're good for regular season, guys. They're good for regular season. Playoffs,
yeah.
I don't think they're gonna show.
You don't think
Shea's
so?
the only guy who's gonna show up, man.
If the OKC Thunder trade for that guy on Sacramento who plays like he's like a superstar, what's his name? Monk.
Keegan Murray? Oh, Malik Monk.
See, they need one player like that, bro, who can just blow up when everybody's kind of having a bad shooting night. Man, that guy is so valuable. Bruce Brown was like that, man. Well, Bruce Brown was like that for Denver when they won the championship. Like when they were kind of slow and Murray looked like he was a little hesitant, Bruce Brown was like, what? You don't want to shoot?
I think you're onto something there, Max. I think you're right. Like, if OKC can get one of those savvy shooting vets that can come off the bench, drop 30 on you without you even knowing it happened.
Man, then they would be ready to go, you know? Yeah. I think they need that guy. A-Rod's right. They need that guy who can blow up outside of Shea and J-Dub and Chet. You need one more guy who can explode.
And has some stripes already. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it was a nice piece for them is Caruso.
That's what I just said.
Caruso is amazing. Like in the playoffs, I can't wait to see how he's going to help them.
Yes, exactly. He's a little pest, and you need pests like that, man. You need your Dylan Brooks, you need your Carusos, you need those guys, man.
Bother those wing players, man.
Yeah. What about you guys? What else has stuck out? OKC stuck out for me. I think that's a nice early news. What about you guys?
I think we're going to see the end of Doc Rivers soon.
Hey, they look bad right now.
That's not a hard bet to make, but hey,
I'll put a toonie on that.
Listen, it's pretty interesting what's going on there, man. Because like when they made that trade for Lillard, I'm pretty sure we had a conversation on here about like if we liked it or not.
We did.
I pretty much said I do not like it because I think Giroux was better for that team. Lillard is awesome offensively. But defensively is where they really lack with that guy. And
he's like worse than we thought, yes.
And he's been falling off quite a bit lately. Like, especially when it comes to the shooting. And if his shooting isn't working, his defense is never going to get better. So it's like he doesn't have anything to really lean back on. And Doc Rivers, like, getting the job was just a weird weird.
That was
point.
bad. That was bad.
Because like
yeah.
Adrian Griffin, they didn't like, and they weren't playing well under him. Like well in the sense of like eye candy and appeal. Like the style wasn't there, you know. But the wins were still coming. I think they were like 30-13 or something like that. And then now with Doc Rivers, it's like these guys are like 18 and 20 something, 22, 23 or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like they aren't winning games. They don't look good, and they have like a really top heavy roster. Like outside of Lillard and Freak, like who else is scoring? Connaughton.
Like, you know what I mean?
Bobby Portis is only getting older.
Yeah.
Brook Lopez is only getting older.
Yeah.
Like who else is on that team?
Middleton
Gary
is like
Trent.
Kawhi Leonard.
Gary Trent. Yeah.
Gary Trent. You know how Gary Trent.
No,
is.
Gary Trent is not the answer.
Was it Teron Prince? No, he's on
Torian Prince.
Torian Prince.
But like he's not scoring. I mean,
no.
So like
Cleveland looks much more impressive.
Because
yes, they do.
Cleveland did the right thing by getting rid of Bickerstaff because the way he wants to play with that roster doesn't fit the roster. Kenny Atkinson has a better formula for what they have. Whether they win or not is going to be a different story, but like they have a better formula.
I wanted Kenny here when the Raptors were looking for coaches.
Kenny's a good coach.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Milwaukee, right now at this moment, Memphis is up 95. I was checking the game before we got on here, but Memphis is up 95-68 in the third with a $1:45 left.
Yeah, and
beat
they got
down.
smoked. Yeah.
And you know, like probably what happened was they were probably down like 20-something points, right? And then they go and sit Freak, and then the lead just balloons.
Yeah.
So it's really like, what are we gonna do here? Like,
I
kind of sad.
like
man.
we seen Dame not have success in Portland, and we all for years the narrative there was I never believed it, but the narrative was he doesn't have enough help. He's got to get out of Portland. He's never gonna win unless he gets out of Portland. That was the narrative, right? And they got to the Western Conference Finals. They didn't win one game against an injured Golden State. Like you had your shot.
And now
you had your shot. I never fell into that narrative that Dame was like, needed more help. But when he came to Milwaukee and you seen how bad his defense was, it was like, oh, I never quite paid attention to how bad your defense was,
All three of us aren't fans of Dame.
I'll say this about Dame. Dame, his best shot was not the year that they went and faced Golden State. It was like logistically like where they ended up in the conference final. The best team he ever had was with Aldridge, because when Aldridge was in his prime, he was the mid-range master.
Yeah.
So that team was perfect for what they wanted to do. They had a guy who could shoot at all three levels, and they had Aldridge just manning the block. So
who was the White Kobe? They called him White Kobe that was on the team. What was his name? Oh, he would fight everybody. What was his name? It'll come to me. No, anyways, I don't want to cut you off, but it'll come to me. But he was bald-headed white dude. They call him the White Kobe. What was his name? He'd fight it. He like tried to fight Kobe one time. Anyways, it'll come to me. Yeah, what was his name? Because he was a legend. He was on that team. But you brought up a good point. While A-Rod looks that up, Cleveland's been a nice little story, Max. You brought that up that they do look good. They look cohesive.
Yeah, I remember having faith in Cleveland. That year they lost to the Knicks in the first round. And I wasn't quite paying attention enough to realize that Bickerstaff was their coach. So I'm rooting for Cleveland, thinking they're going to win the series. I sit down to watch the game one of the series against the Knicks, and I see Bickerstaff's the coach. I said, wait, whoa. This guy's
Steve Blake?
Steve Blake.
Steve Blake.
I still remember that head.
He'd fight everybody, man. He'd fight everybody.
He was that feisty? I don't remember him being that feisty.
Oh, he was feisty, man. He'd fight everybody. Yeah. He was feisty. Steve Blake.
I remember watching him in college. What college team did he play for again?
No.
I remember watching him in college.
I don't remember, man.
You know what? I kind of maybe it's just one of those things because you're saying you remember. I'm like, yeah, I remember too, but I don't really. Let me see. Maryland. No, I don't remember him actually.
I do remember him.
Well, before we go, we got two more things. Let's do the fantasy thing. We're all in the same. We're all in the same fantasy league, and I must say the Polo Bears, Max P, great name by the way, is doing quite well so far. But who is right now? Who's a must pick up? Who's kind of like somebody that is surprising to you so far, fantasy wise, that you didn't see it coming, and they're doing quite well, and still maybe possibly aren't picked up and are floating on some waiver wires. What do you boys think? Who do you see?
Peyton Pritchard, insane run right now.
Yes. I was like, I wonder who picked him up.
Peyton Pritchard, Buddy Hield.
I got Peyton in my 20-team league with Sports Ethos. Yeah. This is my guy, Sohan, man. Sohan is
I like that guy.
Yeah, he's
a terrible point guard, but I like him.
But the thing is, he doesn't have to be a point guard now.
He's not supposed to be, right?
But he's not.
Yeah, terrible.
Just terrible, yeah. But doing what he's
doing.
Many
games last year, Wemby would be waiting for a lob. This guy just be looking like...
Bro, just this year too. When Chris Paul goes to the bench, it's the exact same thing. Wemby makes a cut, but they didn't give him the ball. Wemby was open for the alley-oop, but he didn't get the ball. It was just bro.
Yeah. Well, you heard it here. You heard it here. Get Peyton Pritchard, pick him up. If you're in a league where he's available, then your league's not that great. But Sohan, maybe possibly if you're in like a 10 or 12 team, he might still be floating around. Scoop him up. All right, next up for the Raptors, the Lake Show is in town, and I must say, you sent, before we get into this, what we want to see, you sent a tweet that I have to read. I don't mean any disrespect, but this tweet was like, I don't read tweets. Okay, and I'm not that guy, and this is the first time I've ever done this on the podcast. And A.Rod sent it to our group chat, and I read this. I didn't know what to say because I was like, "This is fucking ridiculous." So A.Rod sends this tweet concerning the Lakers. Bronny gets subbed in, and they treat him like. Bronny gets subbed in, and they treat him like the varsity manager with Down syndrome who finally got to suit up for senior night.
It is dead on the money.
I'm dead
on the money.
Listen,
I'm watching the game.
When I read that today, I was on the subway and I started laughing, man. I'm like, I look like every other homeless person on here, just laughing, man, to myself.
It's so dead on the money. It's so dead on the money. That person was watching the game because I was watching the game. 100%. And it's like a 20-point lead from the first quarter. I'm telling you, a straight 20-point lead for 4 quarters. By the time it gets to the 4th quarter, the crowd's like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. They start going, Bronny. With like 7 minutes left in the game. They literally forced Reddick's hand to play him. It was the legendary scene from Rudy and the movie Rudy.
Yes.
It was some real Rudy shit, bro. It was some real Rudy shit,
but
bro.
But this guy says Down syndrome who finally got to suit up for senior night. The varsity manager, like that is awful.
When you see those clips,
the whole
at the end
thing
of the year,
was just a sympathy fest. The
whole
damn
thing,
thing,
because
bro.
their equipment manager comes in and the guy hits a 3, and they just fucking go bananas. That's how it felt like, man.
That's what they did. They did the over cheering when he finally scored his first basket and shit. Like, oh, look at the little retarded kid. Oh, good for you.
And if I was Bronny, I'd be so pissed at this. I'm like, Dad, this is not what I signed up for. I'm
Bronny sitting there in full warm-up suit. Bronny sitting on the bench with a full warm-up suit. The crowd's going, Bronny. The crowd's going, we want Bronny. That's what they were doing. They were, we want Bronny.
What was that?
Bronny
what
just
was that?
looking around like.
What was that show when we were growing up with Corky Thatcher? What was that show called? Remember Corky?
No. There was a
You're
scene. You're a mean dude, Poe.
No, I know, but I'm saying there was a scene. I'm not comparing him to Corky. I'm saying there was a scene with Corky.
I like how Max is like,
hey,
you're a mean dude, man. You're a mean dude.
Yeah, when I crossed the line with Corky. Corky was he made the team or something.
You know what kills me though? Like, it's like Bronny's got the vibe though.
Shit.
And listen, I don't hate on the kid, but I'm just saying what I see with my own 2 eyes, right? It's like when I would see him on the bench there, he's got the vibe of like, he looks like a Make-A-Wish kid that just got his wish, to be on the bench. He's like,
too happy,
I can't believe I'm at an NBA game.
I'm here. Dad, can I stay? It's crazy, man. Corky, all he wanted to do, man, he just wanted to have a red Ferrari and wanted to make the team, man. Remember Corky was like, I want a red sports car, and he wanted to make the team. Anyways. Oh, we didn't mean any disrespect by that. I blame this fucking dude, Sean Johnson, who wrote that tweet. That's some funny shit, though. Oh my god, because it's true.
Oh man, funny stuff.
Lakers are in Toronto with this traveling show of the Lake Show right now. And so, what do you boys think? It's tomorrow night, Friday night, 7:30 p.m. at Air Canada Center. Right? Since it's SkyDome here, SkyDome Hussle, this Air Canada Center. What do you boys want to see? You want to see? What do you want to see?
I want to pray to God Anthony Davis doesn't get like 45 points on us.
He might.
Because we have nobody that can fuck with that guy down low.
No.
Some nights he doesn't. Some nights he's not aggressive. But yeah, if he wants to.
If he wants to, like the way they're running the offense through him, he could easily erupt for 50 tomorrow.
Oh my goodness!
Or 83. He could go for 83.
Yes, sir.
Man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bruno Fernando's not going to stop him.
Cross our fingers, like against Cleveland.
LeBron won't care about the game tomorrow because he just had his moment last night in Cleveland.
Yeah.
So like LeBron's the type of dude that'll show up for whatever game is better for him media wise, and he knows going back home in Cleveland, like it matters to him. He's like, I gotta put on a show because it might be my last year.
And he wasn't sick,
whatever. So like so he went off last night, even though they lost, but he still finished with like 26 or 27 or whatever. But tomorrow night,
useless
he won't
points.
He won't care tomorrow night. They'll just care about winning. So he'll pass the ball. Anthony Davis will do his thing, but like I just gotta pray, man, because Jakob Poeltl is gonna get run over, man.
Yeah, he's gonna need some help. The hay balers hope maybe they can put on a show tomorrow night. Dalton Connect and our guy Austin Reeves. Let's see. But yeah, I'm looking to hey man, I just want to see them play hard. I want to see them just keep doing what they're doing and hopefully just have some fun because it's actually much easier to watch when they're, you know, I don't have any expectations. I just want to see them grow and have fun, man. And yeah,
we're gonna get blown out. We're gonna get blown out.
This man just,
bro. I watched the game against Cleveland.
Shit.
I watched the game that the Lakers played against Cleveland.
Did you?
They had nothing to be proud of that game. They're gonna come out and ball hard.
The Lakers didn't have anything to be proud of?
The Lakers game, yeah, like don't let the stats fool you. I watched the game. That was a very bad game for the Lakers. Extremely bad.
I agree with Max.
Extremely bad game. There was one play where Anthony Davis was jogging up the court, complaining to the referee. The big man on Cleveland just runs right past him. No, the other big man, the Afro. Jared Allen runs right past him while he's complaining to the referee and dunks the ball right in his head top. And every single one of LeBron's 26 points came when you didn't notice. I was watching the game. I barely seen it. Man. Yeah, so he's gonna come out this game and ball on us. Davis is gonna come out aggressive because for whatever reason he wasn't playing aggressive against Cleveland. Redick's gonna want to make sure that they don't get embarrassed because they lost 2 in a row. I mean, it's bad news for the Raptors.
They might be out tonight, though. They might be out tonight, enjoying the city. What the city.
Hopefully Hopefully the city can do a number on them. Yeah. But if I was putting money on this game, I'd say a Laker blows us out and quit their 2-game losing streak. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, let's do that. Let's do our predictions then. So you're saying the Raps are going to take a big L on this one
with nobody to guard Anthony Davis?
No.
Oh my God.
But you, A.Rod,
loss? I'm the same, man. I'm going to say the Lakers are going to win relatively easily. I don't think we have much of a chance, man, because they got too much firepower and they look far more determined. If they're playing under Darvin Ham, we could stick around for a bit. But under J.J. Redick, there's something about
There's something there, yeah.
And I'll say this, statistically, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but their starting 5 is probably like second best in the league for points.
I don't want to hear
It's the bench that sucks. So if the starting 5 comes out, they will score on the Raptors at will.
Game over.
And it's going to be pretty quick, man.
The Lakers are really, really good, minus LeBron. They're really good. Watch when they play the Raptors. You'll see
He's got to get out of there.
As soon as he goes on the bench, they're really, really good.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I think Raps are gonna win the second quarter, but they're gonna lose the game. So, I think they're gonna win.
Quarter win, baby.
Yeah, they're gonna win the second quarter, and fans are gonna go crazy. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So let's leave it at that. Boys, that was a lot of fun, and we did it for the SkyDome, man. We did it for the SkyDome. Enjoy your night, and everybody, I want you to we have an influx. It's I just wanted to mention this, that our subscription numbers, the last 3 episodes have gone up pretty high, which is making me feel really, it's making me feel really good. Yeah, so I just want to say thank you to our, because we obviously have some new listeners. So big salute to our new listeners, and thank you for subscribing, and thank you for the listens, man. And we're gonna keep feeding you and feeding you and feeding you, like METHOD, man once said. So on that,
thank you very much.
Absolutely. Without the sewing of the asshole.
Keep feeding. You know what was the worst one of that whole scene? Was when, I think it was right where
Dunks is coming out soon, man.
Oof. What did he say? He goes, "I'll throw you off a 10-story building by
when they were playing the dozens, that was crazy."
Oh man! All right, boys.
I gotta go listen to Meth vs. Chef now.
That classic on Sub Crazy. All right. That was another episode of the Sports Ethos Toronto Raptor podcast. And it's us, El Hoopo, A.Rod, and Max P. Once again, we want to say thank you to you for hitting subscribe. I asked you and you did it. That's amazing. So let's keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And I just want to send one more shout out to Bronny. I meant no disrespect comparing you to Corky Thatcher. I was just saying that there's no comparison. Corky's not a ball player. You are. So let's just leave it at that. Bye-bye.